All right, 7:15 on the dot. You know what that means. I'm Fox 19 now, First Alert Meteorologist Brad Maushart. It's time for the 7:15 weather show. A little bit more laid-back weather show than what we saw outside yesterday. Why did that not? What is it doing? Uh-oh. Now I got double audio. What is happening? There we go. We're a very professional bunch over here at the 7:15 weather show, and by we, I mean just me. I'm just sitting here in a room by myself. Hopefully, you're having a better day than what we saw outside yesterday. Wow, what a mess. We had a slew of severe storms that rolled on through, wind damage all over the place, and a now confirmed tornado in Bracken County. They confirmed it. We did not have a lot of details to go with that. They're going to release the full report for that tornado tomorrow. It'll probably be in the morning, so you might get it through the early afternoon. Anna will be here, and if not, then you'll have it from me tomorrow night. With that said, let's talk about tomorrow, because tomorrow is another First Alert weather day. And the reason being, we have, as Andrew has pointed out here in the chat, a lot of rain coming in. It's going to slow us down for the morning drive. Some areas could see over 2 inches of rainfall. A lot of that will be through the morning. That's our widespread rain chance. We'll dry back out a little bit around midday, and then that'll allow the atmosphere to recharge, and we'll see another round of storms coming our way tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Not a washout, so game number 2 with the Reds and the Pirates tomorrow. It's going to be a huge pitching matchup, right? Skeens and Hunter Green. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. There is a chance, though, that even though the chances are a little lower, that we could see some stronger storms with wave number 2. So something to keep an eye on as we work our way through the day. Lost track of where I was here with my keyboard. There we go. 15 is our weather number of the day today. 15 is now our updated number of tornadoes so far in the tri-state in 2025 with our newest tornado in Bracken County. It's the first for Bracken County this year. Last year, in total, we saw 20 tornadoes. So that was through the whole year. So we still got a couple months. We got all of fall to get through here with severe weather season, our second season. So we'll see if we can meet what we saw last year. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can just stay at 15. That would be great. Here are the tornado paths we've seen so far this year. Again, don't try to add up these numbers and get to 15. This is the total number that crossed into each county, but Warren County still has 4 for the season, right? That's the number 1 in the tri-state. Ripley County has 3. Butler County has 3. Nothing in Hamilton County so far this year, and then we have added the 1 down there in Bracken County, even though I don't have the path for that tornado just yet. So here's the totals we saw yesterday. This is why we're also going to see a risk for some flooding tomorrow. Some areas saw over 2 inches of rainfall yesterday and early this morning. 2.09 in Owenton, Williamstown, the arc there at 1 and almost an inch and a half. Officially at the airport yesterday, we saw 6,500. It's a little over a half inch at the airport. It put us at 1.57 now for the month. And we should be much higher than that. We should be over 2.5 inches. Close to 2.5 inches. About 2 1/3 for the month so far. And just under 40 inches now for the year. So a lot more rain tomorrow. I know this is going to be the question from everybody. Bear with me. It's coming. I'll show you the rainfall estimates map. Just give me just a second. We'll get there, I promise. Like I said, some areas could see over 2 inches tomorrow. That's mostly going to be around and southeast of downtown. That's where the highest threat for flash flooding is tomorrow. We'll break that all down coming up here in just a second. Right now, Reds game ongoing. Last time I checked, they were down 2-0. Come on, Reds. It's $2. Speaking of 2, a lot of 2s in the show. $2 glizzies down there at the ballpark. $2 dogs night. It's $3, I think, for the beers, and you're not going to get a better deal than that. It's only $8 for a ticket and some of the cheaper seats, so I haven't looked at the crowd. I haven't seen any pictures of that just yet, but I bet you there's a big one down there because the weather is nice, and you can see the ballpark here with camera shot number 2, Newport, looking back at downtown. Lights are on because that sunset is getting earlier and earlier. Sunset tonight, 7:33. We are just 14 minutes away from sunset, of which you are going to see exactly 0 seconds of because we have some clouds rolling in. I know it looks gloomy, looking a little ominous already, but the rain chances will hold off until, at the earliest, about 10 to 11 o'clock in our southwesternmost communities. Here downtown, we likely don't see some rain until after midnight tonight. 77. The one thing you might have noticed out there is that the humidity levels are a little higher than the last couple of days. It's a little stickier outside. Dew points are back in the 70s in a lot of spots. Remember, we were enjoying those 40s and 50s. It felt like fall outside. It was nice and crisp. That is not the case outside today, and that's going to be thunderstorm fuel tomorrow. 80 in Louisville, 78 in Lexington. Compared to yesterday when we had the storms and the rain pushing through, about 7 to 15 degrees warmer across the Ohio Valley. And here is the current look right now. Any kind of rainfall, maybe a sprinkle down in Mason County, a few more pushing to the east through southern Ohio, southeastern Ohio, but there's our next storm system. And here's kind of the threat from this, and this is why we have a flooding issue that we're going to see. One, we've seen a lot of rainfall within the last 24 hours, right? But this storm is going to try to push, just almost due east. So you can see where this rain is kind of heading. It's going to train over the same area as it pushes into the Ohio Valley. And as it does, those storms are going to go one after the other, and that's going to lead to a flash flooding threat. We dry out a little bit into the afternoon hours tomorrow, but that's going to allow the atmosphere to recharge, and then we'll see a chance for some severe storms as that line pushes on in and redevelops in the afternoon. They're going to be a little bit more spotty through the afternoon, which is good for the Reds game. It means we're not going to see a washout, but it doesn't rule out the chance that we can't see a rain delay or a lightning delay or whatnot for that game. Slightly better chance for the afternoon that we could see a strong storm or two. It's a marginal risk. It's a low-end threat, but it's not a zero threat. Damaging wind will be our biggest issue on top of flash flooding. And change the product here. Similar setup. It's a slight risk, a 2 out of 4. So the second lowest category, or the second highest, I guess, out of 4 there. A slight risk. 15% doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, once you get a slight risk for flash flooding, you're almost going to see it at least somewhere within that yellow swath. So just be aware of that. Some areas could see over 2 inches of rainfall. Generally in that yellow shaded areas where we have the best chances or the highest chances to see some flash flooding. Right now it's just a gloom outside. I don't have any more questions there. Sharon and Andrew both asking about rain totals. We're almost there. We'll get there in just a second. Temperatures outside tonight dropping back into the mid-60s. That is about 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. We should be bottoming out in the mid-50s. It should start to feel like fall by this point of September, but not this stretch. I mean, we're still above normal for much of the next 10 days. The clouds tonight going to help to hold in some of that heat. And then tomorrow we start off with a mess. Morning and evening rounds. I think we catch a little bit of a lull through the early afternoon, but by the evening the storms start to return. Flash flooding, damaging wind going to be our threats, and the entire tri-state does have a chance to see the rain and that strong storm threat. So here's 11. Again, not expecting any big issues for the Reds game tonight. If we see any rain before midnight, more likely than not it's going to be off to the southwest. But you can see how quickly this changes as you work way through the overnight. A few rumbles of thunder. Don't be surprised if Mother Nature's alarm clock wakes you up out of bed at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning with some storms rolling in. These are not likely to be severe. Can't rule it out, but we're not likely to see severe weather through the early half of the overnight. But widespread rain is likely for the morning drive. Look at it. I mean, it's just a slug of rain that dives in. And, it doesn't take much rain to slow things down here to a crawl. So you start to see this moderate to heavy rainfall, some standing water on the roadways. Expect a slow morning drive tomorrow. Going to be a slow go of it early on. That rain does look to dry out. Here's that break I'm talking about through the early afternoon. This will allow, with a few peaks of sunshine, the atmosphere to recharge a bit ahead of a more spotty storm chance. Now, while spotty, these storms have the capability of packing a little bit more of a punch. That's why we have the marginal risk, right? This is a damaging wind threat that'll last through the evening, and then more flooding, not out of the question as rain becomes widespread again late Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. But by about midday Thursday, most of us are drying back out. Outside of just a slim chance for a shower in our southeasternmost communities Thursday evening, most of us should be nice and dry, and we'll stay dry into the weekend. Here's a look at some rainfall estimates, right? This is just model data, but it gives us a good idea of what the Storm Prediction Center and the Weather Prediction Center has been kind of hinting at, is that we do have that risk for some flash flooding because some areas could see over 2 inches of rainfall in a very short amount of time. A lot of that tomorrow morning, but a good chunk of it could hang around for the evening hours too, depending on where those stronger storms end up. Slow moving and training storms could lead to that too. So this is kind of a grain of salt. That does not mean that the exact amount you're going to get. It just depends on where some of those storms line up, especially through the afternoon. But generally around, I'll just draw a line here across the screen. Generally around and southeast. Maybe I'll draw a line across the screen. There we go. Generally around and southeast of town is where we have the best chance to see that flash flooding, and you can see why. A lot of those areas there are picking up on 2 inches of rain. Can't say you don't see over an inch on the northwest side of that line because you can see Connersville meets that criteria, but again, something to keep an eye on. So in terms of specific totals, generally most areas should see at least a 1/4 inch of rain from this through tomorrow morning. You might not see any rainfall after tomorrow morning. In that case, the totals will be a little lower in a few spots, like what's showing up there in Batesville and Lebanon. But some areas could get just, hammered through the morning there. Over 2 inches of rain, not out of the question. We do dry back out for Friday night football. Kroger Wellness Festival Friday and Saturday, looking great for that. 78, mix of sun and clouds Saturday, a little warmer by Sunday. That is the next FC Cincinnati home match. If you have an outdated calendar, it is still going to say that match is on Saturday. It is not. It got rescheduled a while back. It is the 28th. It is against Orlando City. That is a Sunday match at, I think it's 7 o'clock. Is there a way to find out an area town of the Tri-State has had the most rain, say, over a decade? Oh, I know I have a graphic in here that goes back a ways, but it doesn't go back a decade. I'd have to do some digging for that. And I think the only luck you're really going to have with that, in most cases, is going to be the official reporting sites. So, Taurus here asking about find out if an area of the town of the Tri-State has had most rain over a decade or so. The only way I can go back and look is the official airport sites that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's some other obscure source out there that might be able to go into more details. Yeah, I could try to look up the airport and see what I can find and start adding up some totals, but yeah, I can't get too detailed for a lot of spots because it would have to rely mostly on the airport sites. That's just kind of how sometimes that long-term data works. I have to get up at 6. Do you think any time from now to then we'll be getting up because of a tornado? Yeah, I'm not expecting much in the way of severe weather through the overnight. Maybe some flash flooding. That would be a possibility in a few spots tomorrow morning, or at least a flood advisory, standing water issues for the road, the ride out tomorrow morning. But I think the best chances we'll see tomorrow for severe weather are going to come in through the afternoon and the late evening hours with some of those storms redeveloping. Let's keep on going here. Don't forget, quick little plug for the weather app. I know it was a really boring stretch to September. You might have put this app away. It might have undownloaded itself if your phone's trying to save space. But download this app again. Great app to have as we roll into fall because, this is our second severe weather season, our second season. Typically, things do start to pick back up this time of the year, and you're seeing it now. Storms rolling back into the forecast. Luckily, we're dry for the weekend, but we do have another first alert weather day tomorrow, so this is a great app to have. I know the link is a little bit lengthy up there, but if you just go to fox19.com/weather, there is a link on that page that takes you to that other longer link there to download the app. So great app to have. You'll get all kinds of different alerts between severe weather, and it's also useful just for rain and lightning too, even if it's not severe. Temperature-wise, a brief cool down behind this rain, back into the low 70s for Thursday. We're back almost up to 80 degrees by Sunday. Slightly higher humidity, and then another storm system rolls back in Monday and Tuesday of next week. We'll keep an eye on that. It's kind of the remnants or some tropical moisture rolling off of the Atlantic coast, but we'll see what happens there with Monday and Tuesday. But at least for now, that's our next best chance for rain. Still a ways out. And then Wednesday of next week, that is the first day of October. We are just rolling through this year. Rain chances, best chances, by and large, are going to be tomorrow morning. We are going to see more of a spotty chance, which is good for the Reds game, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be dry for the Reds game tomorrow night. Thursday, if it does for whatever reason get postponed, Thursday looks pretty good, especially the later we get in the day. I know that everybody's got travel schedules, and I'm not really sure this close to the end of the year how that's all going to work because I'm not Major League Baseball, but I'd assume they would try to get those games in since we do not have much time left in the regular season. I know they go up to Milwaukee for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not sure what the Pirates do after this, so we'll see what happens. Friday, Saturday look great. Sunday, that just a slim chance. Don't cancel any Sunday plans or anything. If you're going down to the FC Cincinnati match, that's just a slim chance for showers. The better chances roll in Monday and Tuesday. Here is your extended forecast. Yeah, Jeff, if you're working outside, and not a great day tomorrow, especially early. Just take the rain gear with you. You'll need that. 75 outside for Wednesday. It is a first alert weather day because flooding is a possibility. Higher likelihood of that than the damaging wind, but damaging wind, a few strong storms can't be ruled out either tomorrow night. Thursday, we could see some showers early, but drier the later we get in the day, and then Friday, Saturday, most of Sunday, nice and dry. Warming back up into the second half of the weekend, and then in the next week, hold on, we'll just make this full screen so you can see it. on your devices. Another round of storms rolls in Monday and Tuesday. We needed the rain. We did not need it all at once. Watch out for the flash flooding tomorrow. We dry back out again Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday, the 1st of October. Thursday, the 2nd. Friday, the 3rd. Mid-70s. By that point in the forecast, we should be seeing high temperatures at about 73 degrees. Every one of these temperatures, except for Thursdays, is above normal for this time of the year. Actually, Wednesdays, I lied. That was a lie. I don't lie often, but sometimes I make mistakes. 75 is also 1 degree below normal for Wednesday. So those two below normal days because of the rain. We're back well above normal for Sunday. And then, for this time of the year, not terrible. We'll take the mid-70s. It's pretty comfy outside if it wasn't for the rain. Don't forget, you can also follow me all the time. Who knows what'll pop up on my social media. It could be a joke. It could be some serious weather stuff. It's a mix of both. Meteorologist Brad Maushart there on Facebook. Brad with 3 A's. The weather on the X and or Twitter. And then down at the bottom, that's my Instagram. Who knows? Usually that one is a little bit more off the rails. Call me Brad on Instagram. Sometimes it's soccer, sometimes it's coffee, sometimes, who knows, it might be bourbon or a music festival. It's Call Me Brad, that's more of a personal page, but with weather intertwined. Thanks again for watching here. Tomorrow, it's going to be a little soggy there for you. Jeff, I'm so sorry in advance. If anybody else has any other questions, don't hesitate to go to Meteorologist Brad Maushart there on Facebook, my Facebook page, and send me a message. Be more than happy to answer that for you the best I can. When it comes to how much rainfall over the last 10 years, that would take some looking up. I don't know if I have time for that this evening, but I'll try. I'll see what I can find. Maybe for Thursday or later this week when things calm down and I'm looking for stuff to talk about again. So maybe we'll try to find some of that information. Maybe somebody has better data than what I think I have. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow for another edition of the 7:15 show. We'll be back on the air at 10 and 11. Yes, Sam, it is time to go eat dinner. I am hungry. Have a great night, everybody.